Hello everybody, I'm that Savvy Guy and welcome back to another episode of a speed build. This time, instead of a house that we usually build in the speed build episodes that you see, we're actually going to be building a bank. So, this one I actually took off a picture that I found on Google. I had quite a difficult time trying to find a bank on Google, like a nice picture to make it seem like it wouldn't take too long to build, because this one actually took me a little over an hour to build, and it mostly had to the time that it took, I'm sorry, the reason why it took so long is because of the parking lot. The parking lot and the driveway to get to the bank, and of course to exit out of the bank, to wrap around, because there's of course the bank itself, but then beside it's where the ATM is, or like, where you get to pick up stuff too. No, that's more like a pharmacy. I was thinking of more of a pharmacy, but yeah, where the ATM is, or yeah, doing business there. So anyway, yeah. So most of this video, you're gonna see me just do the parking lot, and most of it also had to do with the outside. I also do a different method here. Since this is going to be a type of building, I decided to do a two-layered wall. So you'll see what I mean in a moment. I also had a little trouble with the foundation, so most of the time that it took was dealing with the blocks to make it seem like the bank in the picture. And I think I don't know if I want to make that I'm considering making that the thumbnail. I'm sure when you see the thumbnail for the video, you'll see if I did add it or didn't add it. I didn't add any words to the bank either. It's just, bank. I was considering doing that, but that would take some time. That would take some time to do that. A little more time, but the bank's good nonetheless. I might even add a name to it off camera, and then you guys get to see it possibly if I do like a neighborhood video or something like that, because this place is coming together nicely. I also had to take out a lot of grass blocks to build this bank. So the other trouble I had, as you can see, is the leveling, because I was like, do I want to use slabs? Because that would be a little weird. So I decided to bring it up to one block level, and then I add like a little, what's supposed to be a ramp going down for disabled, for disability, people with disabilities. God, I can't talk. And then I add a second layer of cobblestone, which I did before, and yeah, so. And then I laid out the flooring with black wool. I don't like the wool in this texture pack. I might combine a texture pack with a different one, because I used to do that with other texture packs. Like some blocks that I would like in one texture pack, I would switch over to the other one that I liked too. There was just distinct blocks about them that I liked, or materials, stuff like that. And now here's the part where I do the double layer once I bring up the brick. So I use white concrete. It's just white walls all throughout. So you have the window there, which is layered twice. So you have the brick wall and the cobblestone, but then beyond that, you have the white concrete as well. So this, yeah, I mean, it turned out really good. One problem that I had though with the layering was the window for the bank on the side, which I think when I was building the bank, I was thinking of also a pharmacy as well, and I didn't mean to do that. So I might get rid of that window and just leave a wall there. And as I was building it, I was thinking like, what would make what would be similar to an ATM? And I couldn't find anything, so I left it kind of bare, just there for looks. Just pretend that there's an ATM there. I might figure out what it is, what I could use for that. But because if I were to build one, that would look really weird. Wouldn't really look right, you know. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. And then I use the ceiling. I use white concrete for the ceiling as well. So it's all white around the building. And this will be part of the street that has restaurant. I think I'll build a restaurant next to it. I think I'll build oh, I don't know. Like, you guys can suggest what I should build too in the comments, because that, yeah, that, it would really help me too if you want to send me a picture of what I should build in the comments, or just suggest something that I could build. You know, I could base it, I could try to do it myself, or I could base it off of a picture that I find, anything that you want. So that way it helps me, and you know, I can get some ideas flowing of how I want it to, how I want the builds to look. Oh, as you can see, I'm using pillar quartz, and I'm using this white end stone brick, which actually is part of the different blocks mod. I'm gonna call it a different name every time. Different colored blocks mod, different colors. I don't know, different blocks mod, something like that. So yeah, you can see I had trouble with the window. Also, the sectioned portions that you see that are like squared or rectangled off with the slabs, the stone brick slabs, those are just for, you know, plants and stuff. So like bushes and trees, which I'll be adding at the very last part of this build, of this speed build. And then here, yeah, this is the part where I'm adding the driveway to the bank. So there's two ATMs outside the bank where that is, where this driveway is. So I decided to add 2 lanes. One lane's a little smaller than the other, which was totally fine with me. I mean, some of the lanes that I have or one of the lanes that I have for another road is 4 wide, so I could really I could fit a car in there. But the other one is the bigger one that actually is the main driveway when you enter and exit, and that's 5 wide, because, you know, you got to make sure that you have enough space. Got to make sure you have enough space. So, and then I decided to close off that window, make it smaller there. And then here's the part that takes me forever. Building the driveway all the way out from the bank. So yeah, this one took me a while to do. So this build, I went all over the place with it. I focused on the sidewalk, entering the bank. I focused on the driveway. I focused on the place where the plants are going to go as well. Like it was just all over the place. So yeah. And then there's some parts where I do pause for like a second. Since this is sped up, you don't really see that too much, where I'm like, what am I going to do with this now? So yeah. Oh, you'll also see a part later on where I think I'm done, but then I tweak the parking lot a little bit, because there was like a parking space that I kind of messed up, and I wanted to put a line at the corner, which you'll see that I'm not putting a line in that corner, and that parking space does not look like it exists. So I wanted to add that. I was only able to really add like 3 parking spaces, which I guess that's okay. And then for this part, I added like the walkway to go up to the bank. So I saw that in the picture too, because it has diagonal white lines, but it doesn't really have yeah, I can't really make it look good that way. And then here's the part where I add an arrow to, you know, make it look like that. This is the way you enter. This is the way you exit. I was thinking of adding like words that says enter and exit, but that would make a much bigger driveway, and I don't want to do that. That would be way too big. So also I had the rain was such a pain in the butt, because it kept raining every time I was building here. I keep forgetting to turn it off, but I mean, it's not really a bother. I mean, you don't hear it when I'm, you know, when I'm doing voiceover for these speed builds, but you know, it's annoying to me when that happens. But I do weather clear. Sometimes I won't do it because it's not really that loud, and it's not really, you know, hindering the vision that when I'm building, or when you guys see it too. So I only do it when it's really like a pain in the butt. So yeah. Oh, another thing to mention. Oh yeah, here's the part where I widen it a little bit to make it look good, just a wider walkway. But yeah, later on you'll see me just like, you know, change it up just a little bit. And then the back part of this, I also try to make it where the road kind of curves, because like that 90-degree angle turn. Yeah, no, it doesn't really look good. I don't think it does. So I decided to make it go more at an angle. I'm not really good at making rounded turns or rounded roads or whatever, um, rounded things in general in this game. I'm decent at making domes, but I haven't made a dome for a build that I've done in years, because I actually did a build of the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C. If you guys haven't seen a picture of that, you guys really should. It's a fantastic memorial. I also built the Lincoln Memorial, but in terms of the Jefferson Memorial, it has a dome over on top, and I was able to do that with slabs and some blocks. Thank goodness I was able to do that. The Lincoln Memorial I did as well, which I think I still have it on my console. And my God, this was like when I was in high school when I did this, and I'm 24 years old, so you can only imagine how long ago it was. So yeah, this is the part where I work on the roof. Not entirely, because I go back and forth between the roof, the driveway or the parking lot, and then I also do the interior of this build as well. Part of me wants to keep wanting to call it a house. It's not. It's a bank. It's a bank, but I'm so used to doing house builds. I just want to say house automatically, but that's not the case. Anyway, so yeah, this is where I add the roof. I also, wanted to clear the rain. Oh, another thing that's hilarious that happened. Before I even started doing this build, I was actually prepping for the space for the build. And the funny thing is, when I was building it looked like a F5 tornado in the game just decided to spawn, and it tore off all the roof of my colonial house build. If you haven't seen that, you should check that out. And also some of my other suburban house that's nearby. It also took off parts of my apartment build as well, which you should check that out too, for little apartments. By little, I mean like really little. But it looks really nice anyway. So yeah, the bank is coming along really well. One of the last things I do, sliding doors. I utilize these sliding doors, which I had such a pain doing this, making them connect together. But the cool thing is that when they actually come together properly, they actually, both of them slide open. So I wanted to do something like that. Of course, you have to click to open them. It's not like they open automatically. Oh, you know what? I think I could have put a pressure plate down and that would have done it. Dang it. Why didn't I do that? I'll do that off camera. Oh, I wasn't thinking about it then. Dang. And then here's the part where I add all the lights in. I add light switches too. I didn't know where to put the light switches, so I'm like, I'm just going to put these somewhere. The lighting in here was a little tricky to make it as bright as possible, but I didn't want to make it too bright, just enough where you can see well enough in the building. So, and this space is pretty small. I mean, this is like a town bank or something. It's not like a city bank where it's huge, or like one of those like really old banks where they're like, a grandeur type of bank or huge one, like if you play Payday 2 and you've seen the big bank, something like that. It's not like that. This is more like a, typical town bank that you do. I also add glass to the, where the tellers will be there. And then in the corner here, I also added 2 desks, for people, to discuss, banking stuff, loans, etc. I moved there's one desk that I actually change position in because the chair, I used a modern couch, and then I'm like, okay, I need to move this desk because there would not be any walking room if I decided to do that. I just wanted to move the desk at an angle, different angles, because I wanted to look different, but I decided to just keep it the same angle for that. So yeah, there's there could be lots of tellers in here, but there's a couple people that work here, and for that part of the bank I put blinds there just to make it a little more private for people that work on that in that section of the bank. And then I add some spruce slabs to add as shelves, just to add a little bit more because it was a little bare for the building, but there was really nothing else I could really add to the build. So and then this is the part where I do the outer parts of the exterior of the bank, the property line of the bank. So I extend this part here with more grass, and then I add some birch trees, the catkin, which is part of the dynamic trees mod, and then I grow those trees. I put two close to each other, but then there was one that I placed down. I'm like, no, that's too close. So I decided to add one to the front, which made it look really, really good. And then I add some spruce leaves just to act as some small bushes around the area. I didn't really want to cover the whole thing with bushes, so I just kind of placed them willy-nilly. Then I definitely almost finish off the driveway, and then I add a fence to cut off the property line, and also because of privacy reasons for the ATMs, of course, for the ATMs, because you don't want somebody to walk over there and then somebody like steal your bank information or like steal your money as you're getting it out of the ATM. So I just decided to put fences around, the dark oak fences is what they are. This is from Mr. Crayfish's Furniture Mod. And then the last thing is I adjust the driveway, and I thought I was done, but then I actually go ahead and fix the parking lot that's there. So yeah, I changed the line there, and it looks better now. I really do think it looks better. And there we go. So this is the final look of the build. Here's the front. This looks very, like an actual bank, I think. I think it actually turned out really, really well. I think the only thing that I'm going to have a problem with is making restaurants because of how many angles they have in them, but I think I'll be able to do it. So I might build one next to the bank. I might build something else next to it. I could probably build a park or something. Not really much to do with that, just paths and stuff. So yeah, here's all the sides here. Here's the back. You can see the driveway as it goes through. I wanted to add some space where the bush was, and I also wanted to add some green there. I might bone meal that later, or I might even switch it up a little bit. Might actually add more of the driveway there. Here's the side of it. This looks nice. I was considering putting more parking spaces there, but I feel like that the property would have been way bigger, and I didn't really want to do that. Here's the interior. As you can see, going from left to right, and then I swing back around the other way, you could see all the desks there, or where the tellers will be, the glass, the shelves, the windows, of course, all the lights, and of course you have the workspace there as well. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. I would really appreciate that. Also, don't forget to check me out on Patreon, because I actually have an account on Patreon, and if you need help with anything Minecraft related, just let me know and give suggestions as well. So I will provide a service for you for that. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys later. Bye. See you later.